Welcome to New Travel Escapes. I'm Nancy, and today we're diving into the culinary scene at Secrets Huatulco Resort and Spa, an adults-only, all-inclusive getaway in the scenic Oaxacan region of Mexico. This resort has 400 suites, 8 restaurants, and 5 bars. Plenty of options to explore. We've already shared our in-depth review of the resort overall, but today it's all about the food and drinks. So, let's jump in. When it comes to booking an all-inclusive resort, food quality can make or break the experience, right? Secrets Huatulco has a lot going for it, but if you're choosing this resort solely for the dining, this video is for you, because here, the food isn't exactly the main attraction. But let's break it down and give you an honest look at what you can expect. Then you can decide if it's a resort that should be on your shortlist or not. Secrets Huatulco offers 8 different dining venues that bring different twists to the table. Most of the restaurants are conveniently located in one central area, with 2 perched up on a hilltop, offering fantastic views. There's also a snack spot by the pools and a cozy coffee shop. Let's start our day with breakfast and work our way through the different dining options. At the heart of the main restaurant area, we've got Market Café, the resort's buffet restaurant, open for breakfast from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and for lunch from noon to 4. Overall, the food quality was solid with fresh ingredients and well-prepared dishes, but we found the selection a bit repetitive after a few days. They've got fresh fruits, salads, and multiple cook-to-order stations, which is a nice touch. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, there's usually a small dedicated section for you, although it can vary. One plus is that they still use plexiglass barriers, so you're served by staff, which helps with hygiene, but it does really slow down the lines. Breakfast highlight, the lovely lady making eggs to order. If you're a fan of omelets, she's got you covered. For lunch, while the quality is there, the variety was somewhat limited compared to other resorts that we visited. Like, to give you a simple example of what I mean, let's take the fruit station. It is fairly simple with watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, and a citrus. The other secrets we've been to would have several more fruit options added to this lineup. So what's there is fresh, there's just not a big variety. This buffet was good, but we found it a bit boring after a couple of days. Interestingly, in speaking to other guests, we noticed that the plexiglass barriers seemed to come and go. They were up this time for our trip, but last winter they weren't. Personally, I don't mind the extra hygiene. I have seen some buffet behaviors that are really hard to unsee. Let's just say it's a reminder of why those barriers exist. What I'm showing you here is the setup for lunch. It gives you a better idea of what the overall food at the resort is like when you can view the lunch buffet. Carrying on with breakfast options, you also have Tamarindo. There's supposed to be an a la carte breakfast option at Tamarindo, the resort's Mexican restaurants, which I usually prefer over a buffet. During our stay though, it was only open for breakfast once in the entire week. This could mean it's only available during higher occupancy, so it's worth checking ahead of time if that's a priority for you. We'll get back to Tamarindo when we get to the a la carte dinner options. If you're staying in the Preferred Club, you have access to an exclusive a la carte breakfast at Castaways, a nice perk if you're looking for more options in the morning. Would this be the reason that I book a Preferred Club? No, Not for me. It's nice, but it's not worth paying extra for. Let's move on to the lunch options at Secrets Huatulco. For lunch, let's start with Barefoot Grill, located between the pools and close to the beach. We pretty much tried the entire menu, which includes classics like burgers, fries, nachos, ceviche, and hot dogs. This spot stays busy all day, and it's perfect for poolside eats. Bathing suits are welcome, just throw on a cover-up and you're set. It's open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., so it's easy to pop by whenever hunger strikes. They also have a pizza oven nearby, but strangely, they don't make pizza every day, even though the oven's right there. Just once, one of life's little mysteries, I suppose. You'll also find daily lunch specials like paella or tacos cooked right by the pool, so keep an eye out for those pop-up options if you want to mix it up. The buffet that we saw already is open for lunch, as I mentioned. It's fresh and simple, but a good choice if you want to get out of the heat and into some air conditioning. In addition to the buffet, you can head to Castaways, the resort's steakhouse, which also serves as an a la carte lunch after the preferred club breakfast. This place has hands down my favorite location at the resort, and it's probably my top pick for lunch. Castaways is open air, so it's perfect for a casual, breezy lunch, though the ceiling fans struggle a bit to keep up when it gets warm. It's open from 12 to 4 for lunch and from 6:30 to 10:30 for dinner. I'll cover both the lunch and dinner menus, but let's start with lunch. At Castaways, we managed to try almost everything on the menu. Overall, the food was pretty good, though a bit hit or miss. For example, the calamari was great most days, but occasionally it was overcooked in like elastic bands. The catch of the day is always mahi-mahi, which was solid, though again, consistency in the cook varied. The fish tacos and chicken tacos were great, and I appreciate having the option of flour or corn tortillas for the fajitas. In general, Castaways didn't have any standout dishes, but everything was enjoyable and we were really happy with pretty much the whole menu. Let's move on to dinner options at Secrets Huatulco, and we'll stay at Castaways. Castaways is open for a la carte dinner. This restaurant is pretty much open all day long. Dinner is a steakhouse menu, but because it's open air with mediocre ceiling fan function, it leans towards too warm for me to dine at comfortably in the evening, unless there's a bit of a breeze coming in off the ocean. The steaks are again hit or miss. It's kind of the theme around here. One night it might be done very well, and the next it might not. Next to Castaways is Oana, the resort's seafood restaurant. It's open for dinner from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Oana has both indoor, air-conditioned, and outdoor seating. We found the food here enjoyable, though it had a few inconsistencies as well. The tuna tartare was a standout for me, absolutely delicious. Unfortunately, the mussels were another story. One night we ordered mussels and they arrived undercooked with the sauce still cold, and most of the shells were unopened. We showed them to the manager, who acknowledged the issue and took them away, but never brought us a new plate. So while I'd love to tell you how they tasted, that one's really a mystery. The seafood pasta was tasty and the clam chowder was actually very good. The coconut mango shrimp and fish dish had potential, but could use some tweaking to really shine. For dessert, I tried the crepe, which was on the dense side, but the cornbread in eggnog sauce was unique and quite good. I hadn't had anything like it before, so it was a fun surprise. They've made a few tweaks to some of the menus since we were there last month, but you get the general idea of what's going on. Oceana and Castaways restaurants overlook the resort. There's a second restaurant area near the Sky Bar with 4 additional a la carte spots for dinner, each with its own special vibe. First up is Tamarindo, the Mexican restaurant, open from 6 to 10:30 p.m. Tamarindo takes the crown for the best decor and menu style on the property, so take your time looking around. The design seems to be a nod to Dia de los Muertos, a major celebration in Mexico. In fact, we actually joined the locals here for their Day of the Dead festivities, and I'll be sharing a separate video on that experience really soon. Now, let's talk food at Tamarindo. Honestly, I struggled with the menu as its English translation from the Spanish seems very confusing to me. But that is a me problem, nothing to do with the restaurant. My go-to move, usually if I'm in this situation, is to ask the server for their favorites and roll with it. And I'm very glad I did. The fried cheese dish was a winner, especially with the tomatillo salsa. The corn soup was great. The rest of our picks were good. Nothing that wowed me, but solid. The churros for dessert, though, fell flat. I was hoping for more flair from a churros dessert in a Mexican restaurant in Mexico. You know? Next up is Bordeaux, the French-inspired restaurant. Now, we've dined here on our previous visits, and unfortunately, it has not improved. The menu can be a bit misleading. For example, the Bordeaux salad is described as a beurnoise of vegetables with a bacon mayonnaise, but it turned out to be really potato salad. A tasty potato salad, yes, but definitely not really what I expected. My partner's mixed lettuce and apple salad was underwhelming as well. The duck terrine was actually quite good. Could have used something crunchy to balance it out. However, the onion soup was overly sweet with a crouton topped with a Mexican-style feta that just didn't work for me. The gazpacho was outstanding, and it was my husband's favorite dish of the week. The main courses were a real letdown. The rare beef fillet came out raw and full of sinew. If you told me they cooked it with a candle, I would believe you. Rare is good, unless it is carpaccio. Raw is not. My duck was so tough I could barely cut through it. The creme brulee was pretty good. I don't usually go dish by dish, but I want to illustrate that I'm not trying to be picky. The food here just isn't a selling point. This resort has other charms, but the food is not one of them. Let's move on to Spice, the Japanese and teppanyaki restaurant. If you're into teppanyaki show cooking, be sure to make a reservation here since it's the only dining option that requires one. Otherwise, you can just walk in and they'll give you a buzzer if there's a wait. Spice has these funky sunken tables that look cool, but they're really kind of impractical. Getting in and out gracefully is a challenge, and it's awkward for the servers who have to kneel down to take orders. Definitely form over function here. As for the food, the appetizers were decent, if decidedly Mexican Asian. We asked the server to bring out a share plate of their popular sushi, which was mostly good, though some rolls were a bit too heavily spiced, drowning out the flavor of the fish. I did appreciate the range of dipping sauces, soy, ponzu, eel sauce, and more. We skipped the teppanyaki, but others we talked to said it was okay, nothing special, but still an enjoyable dining experience with a group. Sinsin is the Italian restaurant, and this was our least favorite. Open from 6 to 10:30, we were really hoping to love it, but it just missed the mark on almost everything we ate. The tomato soup, however, was very good. They had a small but decent salad bar. I ordered a pizza, which was a disappointment. The calzone was also a letdown, and the pasta was just okay. Definitely lacking that rich Italian flavor. The tiramisu for dessert was fine, but kind of watery, and we even asked other guests about their experience, thinking that maybe we were just there on a bad night, but most agreed that the food here was average at best. Finally, we have Coco Cafe, the resort's coffee shop, which was a pleasant surprise. It's located upstairs near the theater and nightclub. Coco Cafe offers a range of hot and cold coffee and espresso drinks, plus morning pastries, sandwiches, and desserts. We found ourselves here at least twice a day, and everything was consistently good. They've recently added ice cream to the menu too, which is perfect to grab and go, take it into the theater and watch the show. It's a simple, no-frills coffee bar, and if you compare it to the sister property Dreams Huatulco Coco Cafe, it doesn't really compare, but the food and drinks it serves do hit the spot. For those late night cravings, there's also 24-hour room service, which you can order through the app. Vegetarian options aren't extensive on the a la carte menus. Vegetarian items are marked with a little green leaf, as per the usual, but there's not much to choose from. You can make it work by requesting some customizations like nachos without chili or quesadillas with just vegetables, but it's not the most exciting lineup. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you will likely find yourself relying on the buffet, and they do have separate areas for you there. Let's take a closer look at the bars here at Secrets and what you can expect for evening drinks and daytime sips. Starting with Rendevu, which is conveniently located right by the check-in desks, this bar gives you a peek at the overall alcohol selection across the property. Most bars carry a similar variety, though you may find slight differences here and there. The Sky Bar is the resort's social hub after dinner, often buzzing with live music around 9:30 p.m. It's a great spot to enjoy some evening entertainment, and the drink service here is impressive, covering both the bar and the surrounding seating. Heads up, if you're an early-to-bed person, you might want to request a room away from the Sky Bar. We stayed in Building 5 and could clearly hear the music until around 11 p.m. It didn't bother us, but it's something to keep in mind if you're planning an early morning activity like fishing or snorkeling. Barracuda and Marlin Bar. These two bars form the core of the poolside drink experience. Barracuda serves the pool area while Marlin is the swim-up bar, two sides of the same setup. The cocktails here are decent, but my advice, keep your drink order simple to get the best experience. The beer selection includes Dos Equis Lager and Amber, Amstel Light, a low-calorie option, and Heineken 0% for those looking for a non-alcoholic choice. Surprisingly, the bartenders nailed a Bloody Caesar, and I rarely find a bartender that can nail that. Conveniently located near the theater, the Showtime Bar is an easy option if you want a drink to go with an evening show. Nothing fancy, just to drink and enjoy the entertainment. The Sugar Reef Bar. Oh, the Sugar Reef Bar. A stunning spot with incredible views. Unfortunately, I haven't once seen it open in any of my 3 trips. I'm honestly curious if it's used for only special events or private functions, but it's definitely a hidden gem, and if anyone has ever seen this bar in action, please drop a comment below. I would love to know. For those booking a preferred club room, the lounge offers a private bar with snacks and light bites available throughout the day. However, the upper level alcohol selection is minimal, and in my opinion, it's not a standout compared to other preferred club options at other Secrets properties. Honestly, the main perk of upgrading to the preferred club here is the access to specific room types like swim-up suites, which aren't available outside of the club level. If the room type matters to you, go for it. Otherwise, the lounge itself doesn't offer much added value, in my opinion. Lastly, there is Desire's Music Lounge. This is a late night spot, showing the big game, maybe karaoke, even some dancing. For those looking for some late night vibes, Desire's Lounge is where you'll find it. Secrets Huatulco's bars cover the essentials, and while the selection isn't overly extravagant, you'll find a good drink to suit your mood, whether it's a morning coffee cocktail or a late night refreshment. Overall, the dining and drinks at Secrets Huatulco are, well, they're just okay. If you've stayed at other Secrets resorts, you will need to adjust your expectations. The food isn't bad, it's just not what you'd call amazing. It's decent. If you've been diving through the reviews for this resort, you will likely see a variety of comments about the food, from extremes like everything sucks and I starved to the food is wonderful. You won't be starving or losing weight, but you will likely not be wowed by anything either. And there's a good chance you might need to order another dish if the one you started with just doesn't hit the mark. But hey, you can absolutely do that. This area of Mexico doesn't seem to get a variety of high quality products, and if you're a skilled chef, you're probably working in an area of Mexico with 12 months a year tourism rather than the seasonal tourism in Huatulco. But honestly, midway through our stay, we were already talking about bringing the whole New Travel Escapes crew back here. Why? Because the food may not be the standout, but the service, the stunning views, and the location certainly are. The resort staff is exceptional, with most employees going above and beyond to make guests feel at home. And then there's this setting. The views at Secrets Huatulco are unique and absolutely breathtaking, making this place feel like a hidden gem. It's like the quiet, charming wallflower in the Secrets lineup. And that wraps up our review of dining and drinks here at Secrets Huatulco. We hope this video helps you decide if this resort is right for your next escape. We're all about giving you honest and authentic reviews so you know what to expect when you book your vacation. We pay for all of our own trips, and we're not here to sell you anything, just to help you find the best resort for your well-earned time away. If you enjoy our content, subscribing is free, and it lets us keep bringing you these honest reviews. Next week, we're back with a full rundown on room options at Secrets Huatulco. We'll cover which buildings to avoid if you're looking for peace and quiet, plus tips on choosing the best swim-up rooms. We also have a full review of Dreams Huatulco, the family-friendly neighbor, and it might be helpful to compare the two resorts. Have a great week and happy vacation planning. We'll see you next time with new travel escapes. Bye!